What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Mo Hunts Silver. For tonight's video, we are going to have a mixed denom hunt. We're going to have 4 different denominations: quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. And what this is my aunt and uncle's piggy bank change, because they are going on a trip to Alaska soon and they wanted to have some spending cash. So I told them I would purchase their piggy bank change off of them instead of them taking it to the bank, and I can search through it and make a video for you guys. So I was very thankful that they allowed me to do that, and I hope we can find some good stuff in here. We do have a lot of quarters to hunt through. This is 500 in one box, so we got $1,000 plus 5 rolls right here for $1,050 in quarters to hunt through. Then we have $95 worth of dimes, I believe $34 in nickels, and $22 in pennies to hunt through. So I will hunt each denomination. I think we'll do the nickels and dimes first, and then I'll do the pennies, and we'll move on to quarters. We will be looking for silver, obviously, in the quarters, and dimes, and possibly even nickels here. And then in the pennies, we'll be looking for any kind of wheat cents, and also copper for the copper cup. Hopefully we'll find some errors and varieties in here, possibly a proof or two. I really don't know what we're going to find in here, because this was all rolled up already when I made it to their house to purchase it all from them. So I'm hoping we can find some really good stuff in here. And yeah, I'll get everything cleared up here and we'll start hunting some nickels and hope we can find something good. So let's do that. I hope you guys enjoy the video. The nickels are now hunted, and we actually found a total of 17 finds in 17 rolls of nickels. There's our empty wrappers, and here's all of our discards. So we didn't do too bad, and I will start going through what we got here. We did find one crusty zinc and cent. We did find 2 foreigns, one of them being an older 1954. I believe this is, yep, this is an Italian coin, and it is made out of aluminum. It's super light and does not weigh a thing, really. But it is pretty cool, and it is older. And then we found a 1977 5-cent piece from Bermuda right there. Pretty neat. And it actually looks like it's not heavily circulated either. We did find 4 examples of the 2025 Denver Jefferson nickels right there. None of them are in bad shape. They all look fairly well. Then we found 6 40s nickels, 2 1940 Philadelphias, a 1941 Philadelphia, and then a Type 1 1942 Philadelphia that is not in bad shape, honestly. And then we also found a 1947 Philly and a 1949 Philly. Then we did find 2 50s nickels, a 1952. And this one is going to be from San Francisco, so that's really cool. Lower minted. And a 1959 out of Denver. And then our last 2 finds on the board down here for nickels, I have a 2019 Philadelphia right here with a large beehive die chip right here on the side of the building. So that might be worth $1 or $2. And then I found a die clash, which here you guys can see it. Underneath the building, you got Jefferson's eyes there poking out. And that's going to be on a 2023 Philly. So not bad for 17 rolls of nickels. We'll move on to our dimes, and which we have $95 worth of dimes to search through. So I'm hoping we can find some silver in there. Guys, I have the dimes hunted, There's all our empty wrappers and all of our discards in the dime box. Didn't have that many finds in this one. Dimes usually don't, but somehow a penny made it into a dime roll. And it is a 1974, so at least it's going to be copper. So we didn't lose so much right there. 3 washers made it into the rolls. And then we found 2 foreigns, both of them being Canadian. We have a 1987. And then this one here, it's hard to see. I'll have to throw it under the microscope so you guys can see it. But it is a 1968. And 1968 is a transitional year for the Canadian coinage. They were 50% silver in the beginning part of the year, and then they changed to a, I believe, nickel composition in the later part of the year. But if this is silver, it should not stick to the magnet, because the nickel ones, as you can see, do. But let's see what we have. And that is not sticking. So this will be actually 50% silver. That is awesome. So we will have a little bit of silver hiding in our dimes. Pretty sweet. Definitely take it. Put that over here with our nickel finds. And I think I'll move on to our pennies next right here, which we have $22 worth. And that's going to be 44 rolls of pennies to hunt. And I'm hoping we can find some wheat cents in here. Or maybe some errors and varieties. But let's get into them. And I'll be back as soon as I have something to show you. Roll number 3, going through the pennies. And I'll be able to bring you guys in for some finds here. We're going to have at least 1 wheat cent right here, which we can flip this over to see what the date of it is. And that one is going to be a 1951 out of Philly with a little bit of corrosion. Then I saw another one here that looked a little bit older. Oh yeah, that's definitely older. That's going to be a 1928 out of Philly. Not in bad shape either, honestly. All right, pretty sweet. 2 wheat cents in that roll. I just got roll number 6 laid out, and I believe we're going to have at least 2 wheat cents in here. We do have 2 wheat cents, both of them reverse facing. Right here is the first one. Looks like 40s or 50s. It's going to be a 1957 out of Denver. Obverse actually has a little bit of toning going on to it. And then our second reverse facing is going to be right here. And that is an older one, 1935. Philadelphia. Is very corroded. That's sweet. That's an older wheat cent right there. And then I did see we're going to have a foreign, which is going to be a Canadian from what year? 1964. Okay. It's not bad. I'll take that. And then this one here also looked older. And that is going to be a third wheat cent. 1940. Out of Philadelphia. Wow. All right. That was a very good roll so far. And if there's anything else hiding in here, I'll be back. Roll number 7 is going to give us another wheat cent. That's going to be the 6th, sorry. Wheat cent number 6 so far out of these penny rolls. And that one is going to be a 1956 out of Denver. Let me just put that under the scope quick and check that mint mark. I can't really tell anything on that one. Doesn't look like anything, but all right. Definitely take it. Let's see what else we got here. That's a 62. No. All right. If there's anything else in here, I'll be back. Roll 16 will give us wheat cent number 7. And it's reverse facing again, so we'll have to give it the flip. And we're going to have a 1957 out of Philly. All right, I'll take that. We'll keep moving through here. Roll number 23 is going to give us wheat cent number 8. This time we're going to have a 1950 out of Denver. All right, not bad. Keep taking the wheat cents, that's for sure. Wheat cent number 9 is going to come out of roll number 26. Reverse facing here we have again. And I'm going to say 40s on this one. And yes, 1947, San Francisco. All right, that's pretty sweet. Definitely take that. Don't see many San Francisco mints. Yeah, I think that's going to be about it. What's that? Oh, that's going to be a 1974 San Francisco. That's pretty cool. Surprising on that one. Roll number 33. And I see we're going to have wheat cent number 10. And this is another one reverse facing. So we can pull it out of here and flip it over and see what the date is. All right, that's going to be a pretty common 1945 out of Philly. But we'll still take it and keep moving. I'm bringing you guys back in on roll number 42 of the pennies. We did find 2 more wheat cents since the last time I filmed anything. The last clip, we have found a 1956 out of Denver. And also we found a 1957 out of Philly. But what I'm bringing you in for on this roll is going to be this guy right here, which is a 2014 out of Philly. But if this camera is going to focus, you can see there's some extra thickness on the date. And when I threw this under the microscope, we sure do have thickness on the date. That is going to be a double die. 2014 double die DDO-003 on Variety Vista's listing. And you can see there's doubling in trust. Pretty much every letter there. You have a little bit in we. And just a little bit looks like on the D of God. And Liberty, for the most part, is pretty normal. But definitely on that date right there. And right here is Variety Vista's listing, 2014 DDO-003. And I'll just scroll down through here some. But there you can see the doubling on the date on their listing here. And that's exactly what we got right there. So pretty cool. That's definitely a good find. And it's not in horrible shape. Still looks pretty good, honestly. So that'd probably be worth a few bucks. I'd say, like maybe around $10 or so. But not bad. I'll definitely take that. And we'll keep on moving through the rest of this roll. And then we have 2 more to go. And then we'll wrap up the pennies. All right, guys, that's going to do it for $22 in pennies. We had 44 rolls altogether. We actually did pretty good for what we had here. We had a total of 6 foreigns, all 6 being Canadian. And we have 2 of the young heads, a 62 and a 64. We did get 2 2009s, a presidency, which is the hardest one to find. And I believe this is a Philly, too. Yes, it is. So this is the toughest out of the 2009 Lincoln cents to find. And then also a pretty dirty professional life right there. We did get a total altogether, let's see, 5, 7, 6, 13 wheat cents altogether, because we did find a 1955 out of Philly in the last roll, roll number 44. And it's not the double die obverse or the poor man's. It's just going to be a regular 55. And then we had our 2014 Philly double die obverse. And it's going to be DDO-003 on Variety Vista's listing. So like I said, wasn't bad for pennies. And last thing we have to do now is weigh up our copper. I'll bring our scale up here, get that turned on. We have our copper cup right here, which that almost looks like one of my normal penny boxes. And let's get that on the right setting. There it is. So we're going to have 2 pounds and I'll say about 12 ounces. That's not bad. I mean, that's right about average for what I find in my normal penny boxes. So pretty good. So I will get that box out of the way. And we have $1,000 in boxes right here, and then another 5 rolls of quarters to hunt for a total of $1,050 in quarters. So let me get that set up, and I'll be right back as soon as I have something to show you. Hopefully it's real soon. All right, guys, I'm back to give you an update on the quarters. So far, we've hunted through 55 rolls because we did 1 full box plus the 5 rolls that I had sitting over here. And so far, this is really about all I've found out of 55 rolls of quarters. We do have a Louisiana 2002. This is going to be a clad proof that is in very bad condition. You can see the S mint mark right over here. Then we found 2 foreigns, 1969 from Canada. Pretty cool. And then I don't believe I've ever found one of these before, but this one's going to be from Ecuador. And I believe it's a 2000. Oh, it does flip regular. Yeah, I believe that's going to be a 2000. Centavos. Okay. And then I found a penny in 2 rolls, and then 2 rolls also had dimes hiding in them. So we had a little bit of what Dirty Water would call scumbaggery. But all right, that's what we got so far. And we have 50 more rolls, as those there fall on the floor and everything, but that's okay, so I can pick them up later. But we got 50 more rolls to hunt through, and I'm hoping we can find something good in these last 50 rolls here. So we'll get into them. Guys, well, that's going to do it for the second box of the quarters, because here's all of our discards. And this box did a little bit better, I would say, than the first box that we went through. We did get more scumbaggery, and 3 more nickels, and 2 pennies in the rolls. But I will say that a lot of these rolls were off on count anyway. Some of them were over by a coin or 2. Other ones were under by a coin or 2. So it's kind of evened out, I guess. But I'll have to see once I get everything wrapped up and what I end up with versus what I took out here and what we found. But on Variety Vista, we did get the Wyoming DDR-012, and I will throw that under the microscope real quick so you guys can see what that looks like. And it looks like I'm going to have to focus my scope a little bit. Oh, let's go the other way. There we go. But you can see this little line right inside here. So that is our little bit of doubling for that DDR. And then we got a Homestead, and that is going to be WDDR-074 on Wexler's. And that one, we basically just have a little bit of diagonal doubling of a window right inside of R2 right here. And that's pretty much it for that one. And then we had two Harper's Ferries. First one being the WDDR-003 on Wexler's, which you can see doubling right inside this window right here. It's like a whole, like, almost looks like a pillar going through it. That's pretty much on that one. And then the WDDR-088, which looks like this right here. You can see we have doubling the bottom of these two windows here, a little bit coming up through the middle of this window, and then a little bit right here on the side of that window. So that's pretty neat. And then we also did find another heavily circulated proof. And this one is going to be a 1968 San Francisco with no cameo on it. All right, so that's going to do it for the hunt. I'll get all the highlights for all of our denominations on the mat here and together. And we did find some silver, so I will have to get the silver jar out, and we'll add the silver to the jar. I'll be right back. I'm back with the wrap up for this hunt, and these are all the highlights, I would say, from what we found in today's change hunt. And this was from $1,200 in total of change that we searched through. But we did get a total of 13 wheat cents, one from the 20s, one from the 30s, I believe 3 from the 40s, and 8 from the 50s here. And then we did get a 2014 DDO, and it is the DDO-003 on Variety Vista. And we came across some pre-60s nickels, got some from the 40s here, and a couple from the 50s. And then as far as nickels go, for the big highlight, we did have a minor die clash on a 2023 Philadelphia nickel there. And as far as quarters, we had a few double die varieties from both Variety Vista and Wexler's. And then we found a couple proofs, a Louisiana and a 1968. And then I would say the big highlight from this hunt is actually going to be one of our foreign coins. And it's a dime from 1968 that is going to be 50% silver. So that's pretty awesome. We did find at least a little bit of silver in this hunt. And that can get added to our silver jar right there. So there it is. You can barely see it in there. It's so small. But it is an addition for the jar, and the jar is happy, and I'm happy. So yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this $1,200 customer app change hunt, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new. I always appreciate every single subscription that I get, and as long as I'm getting subscriptions, I'll keep putting videos out. So thanks, guys, and we'll see us on the next one. Thanks for watching.